Welcome to the IMTLazarus presentation in English. This is IMTLazarus. To access IMTLazarus, we can use any web browser and we can do it from any device. With IMTLazarus, we can use our own Microsoft account, Google account, or any other educational platforms to log in. I have already logged in into my demo server here, and here I will find information about my classes and my students. I can have access to different sections here, different classes, but this is my demo environment. Each of these chips represent a student's device, and with IMTLazarus we can work with all technologies. We can have Microsoft devices, Chrome devices, Android devices, iPad devices, all together. IMTLazarus tries to standardize the use of technology in the classroom. So as teachers, we don't have to worry about which devices the students are using. The features are going to be the same in all technologies. In IMTLazarus, we have two main parts. The classroom management part, where we're going to be able to see information about our students here and interact with them. And also we have a security part. On the security side, we have the possibility of analyzing the students' behavior. We can take information from different sources here. So we are going to be able to detect certain behaviors like violence, cyberbullying, things like that. We can also get alerts about these behaviors. We have the possibility of creating web filters, and here we're going to be able to block or allow certain categories for our students. Within the same web filter, we can specify keywords, domains, or specific URLs to be able to allow them or to block them within our web filters. We can create as many web filters as we need. We have separate YouTube filters. In this case, we have many other possibilities here. In this case, we have many options here to choose from to be able to work with our YouTube filters. For example, we have the possibility of blocking all the elements around the YouTube videos to avoid distractions for our students. We can block recommended videos, comments, playlists, anything around the videos can be avoided, so our students will focus on the videos themselves. We have the possibility of blocking or allowing categories of the YouTube videos within our filters, but also we can include specific words or phrases into our filter. For example, I want to block all the videos that contain the word Fortnite. So if I put the word Fortnite here, all the videos containing these words are going to be blocked regardless of my categories. We can also have a list of specific YouTube channels and YouTube videos to be able to allow them or to block them. So for example, I can block all the YouTube categories here, and then I will have my own list of educational channels or teachers channels that I want to include in my allowed list of my YouTube filter. Going back to my class here, as a teacher, I'm going to be able to work with these filters and to interact with my students. Whenever we have this green background, that means they are working with the default filters in the school. But as a teacher, I'm going to be able to change these settings. I can select a few students in my class and decide, for example, for 10 minutes, these 2 students will only be able to browse the list of approved domains. Or for example, these 2 iPads will not be able to browse the internet for 20 minutes. And the colors are changing. We will also find a countdown here, so we can see who has applied this filter and how much time is still pending. After 10 minutes in this case, or 20 minutes here, they will go back to green, which is the default color and the default filters. I want to do an activity with my students. For example, I can select these 3 students in my class, and I don't want them to access or use ChatGPT. So I can come here to my filters that I have created as a teacher, and I can include ChatGPT. And then I can apply this filter for 1 hour, which is my lesson, on these 3 devices. So that means these 3 students will not be able to use ChatGPT during my class, but the rest of my class will be able to access it normally. I'm going to be able to do the same with the YouTube filters. So again, I select the students in my class that I want to apply the filter to. So in this case, these 4 students, and again, the YouTube filter can be personalized. I can apply the default filter in the school, I can block the access to YouTube completely, or again, I can prepare my own content. For example, I have a list of 5 videos that I want to share with these 4 students. So again, I choose the time, 1 hour, I choose my filter, and that means these 4 students will only be able to watch these 5 videos on YouTube and nothing else. But the rest of my class will be able to access it normally. So I can personalize the learning for my students within my class without bothering the IT people. I can also control the camera of the devices here in my class. I can enable or disable the cameras also per time, and I don't have to worry about which technology the students are using. I can do the same in all technologies. I'm gonna be able to lock the screen of the devices also per time. I can also send a message to one or several students here. I'm gonna be able to restart the devices, switch them off if I need to. I can also share my screen with them or a student's screen with the rest of the class. But also I'm gonna be able to share content with them. So I can click here, I can use any of these platforms or type in anything I want, and by clicking open, it will open up automatically on the students' devices. I can also force them to be on these sites. For example, I want to do an exam or an activity with them, making sure they don't go anywhere else on the internet. Again, I can choose the time here, for example, 50 minutes. I can close everything else, and they will only be able to access the resources that I have put in here. So again, I can do a form with them, an exam, making sure they will not be able to access anything else for 50 minutes. After 50 minutes, they will go back to normal and they will be able to access the internet normally. From here, I can see the activity of the students' devices that is happening on their screens. These are changing automatically together with the tabs that they have open right now. I can click on any of them to see what's going on here. I can lock them up if I need to. I can close it from here. But if I need to see even more information about what's happening on a particular student's device, I can always click on the eye for information and I will be able to see this dashboard. So from here I will find screenshots with all the activity that is happening on this particular device. All this information is registered automatically, together with all the browsing activity. So here I will find all the searches they do, all the videos they watch, all the pages they visit. Everything gets registered here. I will have a summary with all the activity of this particular student, and I can also filter by date. So I can go back in time and check what the student has been doing the day before or the week before, maybe during my exam. From this dashboard here, I will find again the tabs that they have open right now. I can close them up from here. I can also see information about the extensions they have installed. I can see information about the device itself, like the battery left, if I want to do an activity with them, making sure they have enough battery, and even the location of this device. For Windows technology, Microsoft, we have specific features, something that we call Essential Desktop. In this case, I can even configure specific scenarios here with certain apps for the students to use. For example, I only want them to use the browser and Microsoft Teams because I want to do an activity with them. Or I only want them to use Excel because we are doing an exam on that particular app. Or we have a special feature here with Minecraft for Education. I can select the different scenario here. I will choose the time, for example 50 minutes, and I will enable this Essential Desktop feature. That means the students will only be able to use the apps that we have configured in there. Again, this is something that teachers can do themselves, so they don't have to worry about particular configurations or complex IT settings. All these actions and information can be done by teachers during the school hours. After school hours, if the students take the devices home, families are going to be able to access here and to see all this information, obviously about their own children. They will also be able to change the filters, to see information about the browsing activity, see the screenshots and all that. Anything that happens outside the school hours is not available for teachers or administrators for privacy reasons, but is going to be available for families. So families are going to be able to access IMTLazarus using a web browser without installing anything else on their devices. We can also create filters for apps for Android devices and iOS devices. In this case, again, we can select the devices that we want to apply the filters to, and we're going to be able to use filters for apps. Similar to the browsing filters and YouTube filters, teachers are going to be able to control the apps that the students are going to be able to use or the apps that they want to block on those devices. IMTLazarus integrates with all the MDMs on the market, like Meraki, Jamf, Mosile, but also we have our own MDM. So you're going to be able to perform these actions and keep using your MDM, or if you want to use our own MDM, you can do so. The settings are going to be the same, so you can control which apps the students are going to be able to use or the apps that you want to block on those devices.